Let me take you through this very tragic story that's coming from Noida. In fact, a 3-year-old child is dead and an entire village there asking who's responsible. In Dalelgarh village of Greater Noida, 3-year-old Devansh tragically lost his life after falling into a deep rainwater-filled pit near a temple during a community feast. His mother Anjali had just come from Sikandrabad to her parental home with her 2 children. And on Saturday, while the family attended the Bandara at the village temple, Devansh was playing nearby when he reportedly slipped into the water-filled pit and died. Family members, in fact, realized he was missing after a few minutes, and then when they rushed around to look for him, by the time they realized that he was in that water-filled pit, it was too late. They brought him out. He had stopped breathing. He was declared dead. Sudden loss has left the family devastated, the entire village there mourning. But this fatality comes just 1 month after the death of 27-year-old techie, a professional, Yuvraj Mehta, remember, who died in sector 150, whose car fell into a water-filled pit. This is a very, very similar incident, again happening in Noida. And yet authorities saying that, well, you know, post-mortem work instead of precaution taken. It's always that. And even in this case, we're seeing the same. When the techie died, the entire civic administration rushed to ensure the area was all fixed, and if there were any open holes, they were all sorted. But here, a little far away from these busy areas of where the techie lived, here is a village which had an open pit, and nobody cared for that. And a 3-year-old child has died. Residents say that the pit had been lying open for a long time and filled with rainwater after the monsoon season this time. In fact, they claim that they repeatedly complained to the Greater Noida authorities as well. But alas, no action was taken. Here the mother speaks as well.
इधर उधर देखा, सब जगह नहीं मिला। फिर ये कह लगे तालाब की ओर को देखो, तो तालाब में लड़का गया, उसका मामा, तो उसको देख घास आस हटाई, तो देख के आई, तो उसे टोपा मिला उसके मामा को। तो जब उसमें बढ़ के जब निकाला वो, हम तो ये चाहते हैं बच्ची को कुछ करो। देखो बच्चा गया और बच्चे भी गिर सकते हैं। आज तो हमारा देवता है जी, कल को और भी कोई है जी, बाकी सुविधा करो तुम।
Terribly tragic. Villagers have expressed anger, accusing the Greater Noida authorities of negligence and inaction. The Noida authority on their part say that this land is basically a private-owned farmer's land. It's not government land, suggesting limitations in direct intervention. Imagine.
वहाँ के पुजारी जी से भी बात हुई, तो पुजारी जी ने कहा कि हाँ, वो लड़का पहले लोग बैठ के यहाँ पूजा कर रहे थे, पर लड़का निकल गया और सीढ़ी के रास्ते वो नीचे लोग कर वहाँ चला गया था, वहाँ फंस गया जा करके, वो चूँकि छोटा बच्चा था। नहीं तो न तो पानी है तालाब में इतना, न तो कोई डूबने की इतनी कोई संख्या, और वो रास्ता बना हुआ तो उस रास्ते से कोई भी जा सकता है, तो उसको तो बैठ कर नहीं सकते। नहीं, अधिग्रहित जमीन हमारी नहीं है, प्राइवेट जमीन। हाँ, प्राइवेट जमीन, अधिग्रहित जमीन हमारी है ही नहीं।
It's terribly tragic that they don't even feel the responsibility or feel the need to take that responsibility on themselves and admit that this was a fault and oversight and we should have done something. Imagine the villagers have been complaining to the authorities as well repeatedly, but yet they allowed this to happen. They clearly allowed this to happen. This hazardous pit was left exposed despite villagers begging the authorities to cover it up. So what if it was private land? We don't even know if it was, but if we go by what the authorities claim, if it was indeed private land, does that mean they allow for risk to be just open and waiting for an incident to happen? Well, it's just sad and shameful. Amit Gupta, Senior Executive Member, District Development Residents Welfare Association, the DDRWA Federation, joining me live. We also have Ranjan Dwivedi, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Thanks very much, both of you, for joining us. Amit Gupta, what's your take on this? The authority saying it is a private farmland. I feel disgusted hearing that. And it's not like they did not know that this pit was open. The villagers have been often complaining to them, saying it's a death trap, but they've refused to act. How does it work? Give us a little sense of, even if it is private land, if there is access to public, shouldn't that be monitored?
The problem is with the accountability of our system. There is no accountability. Even after 150 incident, it has been almost a month. SIT was formed. The report was supposed to come in 5 days. There is no report. You know, unless until we fix the responsibility, nothing will change. I was reading in the newspaper about this incident, and it was mentioned that the villagers was raising this issue from 6 years. Imagine someone raising from 6 years and nothing has been done. And then GM Noida thought, Greater Noida Authority, Mr. Singh saying it's a private land. So Noida, Greater Noida is, you cannot do anything on of yours. These are the planned cities. They have a master plan of 2031, 2041. These are the best cities of India with the best infrastructure budget like of any, big ministry. Nothing has done. And giving excuse of private land is something that they always do. Even today, if I talk about Noida, I've given a raise a issue about Noida Sector 50. There's two school called as Manav Rachna and LK School. Just opposite to them, there is a big drain of around 12 15 feet wide and 5 7 feet depth. There is no, security wall or the safety wall on the corner of the drain. And the kids, and it's a busy market, and kids, after school time, the kids used to stand there. And if somehow someone not able to follow it or not able to see it, that person, especially that kid, will go into that drain. Who is responsible? No one. In unfortunately, it's to say that in our country there's no value of human life. We have not learned any lesson from the 150 incident. Then we see what happened in Delhi. Then what we've seen in Kanpur, then Mumbai, then yesterday in UP where the a street light pole fall on the car, and
Yeah.
today this, and then see what is happening. Again, the issue is that there is no accountability. What they do is, I watch form a committee or SIT, and then suspend a engineer or junior engineer who is actually not responsible for these things, and then give a small compensation, and then we forget. Do we remember that such incident happened around 2 years ago at New Delhi railway station where a lady lost his life? What about the Delhi incident where few students lost their life in that basement incident?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was there myself reporting it on the ground, and it was at that point, whatever quick fixes they did. Even now, I bet you none of those basements have been fully cleared. They still function with those violations, So, yeah, you're right. There's no accountability, and it's no matter how much you speak, whatever coverage we do, ultimately, I just don't know. There's a wall, I think, that they work behind. They don't want to listen. They don't want to take accountability. The official there is saying it's not even our duty because it's private land. He's saying it to the media in front of the cameras, and that's what shocks me. That if this area had access to public, if there was a temple around there, and there were people that were coming in, flocking, there were festivities that were happening in the temple, and if this land was adjoining that area, if it was exposed to public, it's the duty of the civic authorities there to ensure that it's safe, right? Ranjan Vivedi, sir, your take on this, I don't know, if, when you're a poor person, then justice is all the more evasive. And I think that's what will happen here to this family.
Well, Yuvraj, firstly, thank you for getting me on your show, and thank you very much for flagging this incident and the typology of these incidents, because they're very serious and innocent people lose their lives for no fault of theirs. Now, you see, we have to look forward. We have to look forward and see what is the lacuna and what needs to be done. Firstly, there's a lack of SOPs for all such excavations and pits being dug anywhere. In the 150 sector incident, or when manholes or soak pits are made, there should be proper SOPs, and one part of that should be that should be a board showing what are the precautions that are supposed to be taken, and have they been taken or not. And those boards should have a telephone number where the people can then report to the authorities that, look, these precautions have not been taken, number one, and then authorities take very strict action. You see, here the legal structure is so poor. In India, in the old IPC, if you killed somebody driving rashly, The maximum sentence was just 2 years.
Yeah.
In other countries, 10 years, life imprisonment, your driving license suspended.
Yeah.
In the new BNS has been made 5 years, but even that's too low.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that adequate legal structures are not there, penalties are not there to punish such incidents. This is not a new thing. I remember some 20 years ago, the first major incident that came to light was when Prince fell in a pit, and that went on for some 54 hours or 5 days when that Prince was taken out.
Yeah.
And every channel had it on at prime time.
Yeah.
But that should be a wake-up call. You said this should be a wake-up call to put up systems and SOPs. Now, here again, it's a village. What is the responsibility of the Pradhan? What is the responsibility of the Gram Sabha?
So, as far as I see it, sir, SOPs are in place. It's just not followed.
No, SOPs, you see, one of the SOPs should be that there should be a placard over there or a signboard stating the precautions required by the builder who's digging the pit, and a telephone number to indicate that people can report that, look, this has not been done. No, it's not there anywhere. Every contract, mind you, when road building is done, road making is done, anything is being done, there is money allocated for precautions. You're supposed to put barriers, and the builder is supposed to, he puts in a budget for that, which is sanctioned.
Yeah.
Now, when it's not being done, obviously, then there, it could be many things, just laparwahi or collusion, corruption. And you see, as long as nothing comes to light, it goes on, everybody's very happy. But when these incidents happen, at least then we should wake up and put these things in place. Then there should be, there should be a system for the government to harvest information of this type from the public. And, public media awareness campaign that, look, this is the website, this is the web address of some short code 4-digit number. If you find anything of this type, please report on this. And this report should be put on a website in public domain. And people can then monitor that, look, what is happening now?
We are the service, we are a service hub. We service all other countries. We are so good at doing that.
Yeah.
But our own service is so bad.
That's what I'm saying. So, it's a wake-up call, and, I'm very happy that you brought this thing on the table. And I mean, I'll also write on this and you see the UP government in any case has put up a website to harvest suggestions, and this would be one of the eminent ones. That this should be there, and, I'll personally take it up and write. But these things should be in place.
Sure,
unless that is, because only then can, as my colleague.
Now, how would you really measure compensation? I was just looking at a story today that came up on that Mumbai metro construction that, it fell on an auto rickshaw driver, and the auto rickshaw guy survived thankfully, but gets 5 lakhs. His auto rickshaw is crushed, he is injured, he gets 5 lakhs. But the civic body there fined the builder and the contractor a total of 6 crores. So, where is the money going, this fine? Auto rickshaw guy gets only 5 lakhs. He could have died, he would have still got maybe 10 lakhs then. So, how do you measure compensation?
You see, in this case, not only the money goes to the public exchequer, but that should be used for awareness. That should be used to prevent these institutions. I mean, what we can lobby for and advocate. That fine, 5 lakh rickshawala was given as a compensation, make it 10 lakhs, but the balance fine should be put in a separate account and used for preventing such instances in the future. A, and secondly, a 6 crore fine is not enough. The engineers who are building it, the responsible structurals, the builder, they should be sent to jail for this kind of a thing. 10 years minimum. And when that happens, then people will wake up and will not find such incidents happening in a country.
So then if that happens, if they go to jail, then the people who've accepted these tenders for exchange of money, all of them will be exposed. So the system itself won't allow arrests.
Well, the people who accept the tenders, necessarily they don't expose. But the people who should have inspected whether it's being followed or not, whether precautions are being taken or not, they'll be taken to task. And
usually tenders are given on favors, right? That's what we hear of all over. It's almost a norm. that we float a tender, just namesake, we're just namesake asking for different prices. Ultimately, it goes to you because you've already paid us underhand amount.
See, what you're saying is very right in the sense that there is an institutionalized system of corruption in the country.
Yeah.
Especially in civic works. I mean, all roads are costed for a first-class road, A1 road. And you tell me which road lasts the length it should, the time it should. Which road does not develop potholes. So, there is a huge problem in the country undoubtedly, and I'm happy that channels like yours are bringing it to light. But then, there should be a concerted effort to harvest all this, put it in a public domain, and people can then monitor, and it should not happen that like this young child.
But I do want to finally understand, Amit Gupta, do you think that who is going to take responsibility for this? It's an open pit, the child has fallen, civic authority say it's a private property. So what, the private owner will be arrested?
If there is a negligence on the part of the private owner, he should be. But the problem is there is no one responsibility. As sir is mentioning that these issues and suggestions should be listed on the public domain. I'll give you example. There's I mentioned about sector 50. There's a electricity pole which is totally damaged and which is lying on the tree. I've written 3 complaints on UPCM portal. I've talked to that JE of that area, UPPCL. I talked to the SDO. I even informed the DM Gautam Budh Nagar. Even after today, 6 months, that pole is still lying in the air. And exactly opposite to it, there is 2 schools. Now, if that pole falls on anyone and cause any unfortunate incident, then who should be responsible? No one, because they don't listen. I got the excuse from them that we have to float a tender. I asked them to remove a dangerous pole. You have to float a tender, and if something happens, you will suddenly remove everything. Problem lies with our system. Corruption is one part, right? As sir is mentioning, the tenders, the civil tenders got at 40-50%.
They
don't
and
follow
who is
any
to change
norms.
our system?
Problem is there is no accountability.
Yeah. No,
I
just don't want to be ending the show with that, saying there is no accountability. I'm really hoping and praying that this show at least pushes the locals there to have enough courage to fight for justice. And if there is any local authority there who's overlooked this, then that person must be taken to task. Sir.
Can I have just 10 seconds? Yes. Through your show, please make an appeal that anything dangerous, if people observe, they should immediately inform the control room 112, because that will get registered and some vehicle will come there and file a report.
112.
Yeah. So, at least if that is done, it's an easy thing, doesn't require too much, but it will be registered. And then, as Mr. Gupta was saying, that then it would be possible then to fix responsibility.
Okay.
112 will inform the concerned person that, look, this is a problem, please take care.
Right. Well, let's hope this message goes out. I really appreciate both of you for joining us here tonight.